Ingolstadt, Austro-Bavarian, is a city in the Free State of Bavaria, in the Federal Republic of Germany. It is located along the banks of the River Danube, in the center of Bavaria. As of the 31st of December 2014, Ingolstadt had 131,002 citizens. It is part of the Munich Metropolitan Area, which has a total population of more than 5 million. The Illuminati, a Bavarian secret society, was founded in Ingolstadt in the late 18th century. Ingolstadt is a setting in the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, where the scientist Victor Frankenstein creates his monster. It is the site of the headquarters of the German automobile manufacturer Audi, defense aircraft manufacturer Citizens.It Air Systems, and electronic stores Media Markt and Saturn. Ingolstadt Central Station has been connected to Nuremberg by a high-speed rail link since May 2006. Ingolstadt also has a second passenger station, at Ingolstadt Nord. Geography, covering an urban area of 133.35 square kilometers. Ingolstadt is geographically Bavaria's fourth largest city after Munich, Nuremberg and Augsburg. At its largest point, the city is about 18 kilometers from east to west and from north to south about 15 kilometers. The city boundary has a length of 70 kilometers. The city boundary is about 14 kilometers away from the geographic center of Bavaria in Kipfenberg. The Old Town is approximately 374 meters above sea level, and the highest point, located in the district of Pettenhofen, is 410.87 meters. The lowest point of the Schutter confluence with the Danube is at 362 meters above sea level. Ingolstadt uses Central European time as throughout Germany. The average time lag is 14 minutes. The city is expanding at the northern and southern banks of the Danube in a wide flat bowl. The Ingolstadt Basin borders the Jura foothills, located south and is to the north of the Donau-Isar Hügelland. In the southwest is the Donau-Meuse, while in the east the lowland forests of the Danube reach into the urban area. It is the second largest hardwood floodplain on the Danube. The Sandrach, the former southern main branch of the Danube, partly forms the southern city border. In the north, the Schutter flows through from the west, reaching the Danube near to the Altstadt. History and culture. Ingolstadt was first mentioned in a document of Charlemagne on the 6th of February 806 as Ingolstadt, the place of Ingold. Circa 1250, Ingolstadt was granted city status. Ingolstadt was the capital of the Duchy of Bavaria Ingolstadt between 1392 and 1447. Ingolstadt was then united with Bavaria Landshut. Louis VII, Duke of Bavaria, ordered the building of the new castle, whose form was strongly influenced by French Gothic architecture. In 1472, Louis IX, Duke of Bavaria, founded the University of Ingolstadt, which became the Ludwig Maximilians University. In 1800 it was moved to Landshut and eventually to Munich. The University of Ingolstadt was an important defender of the Roman Catholic Church during the Reformation era, led by such notable scholars as Johann Eck. On the 30th of April 1632, the German Field Marshal Johann Siklaus, Count of Tilly, died at Ingolstadt during a Swedish siege of the city. The Field Marshal had been badly wounded in a previous engagement with the Swedes under King Gustavus Adolphus. Ingolstadt proved to be the first fortress in Germany that held out for the entire length of the Swedish siege, and the Swedes eventually withdrew. The remains of Gustavus Adolphus's horse can be seen in the city museum. The horse was shot from under the king by one of the cannons inside the fortress, a cannon known as the Fig. When the Swedes withdrew, the city preserved the remains of the king's horse, eventually putting the form on display today. It has remained thus for almost 400 years. After the French invasion in 1799, the fortress was demolished and the university was relocated to Landshut. Originally a fortress city, Ingolstadt is enclosed by a medieval defensive wall. The Bavarian fortress now holds the Museum of the Bavarian Army. During World War I, future French President Charles de Gaulle was detained there as a prisoner of war. A sappers' drill ground lies next to the river, and two military air bases are located nearby, one used for testing aircraft. The long military tradition of the city is reflected in today's civil and cultural life. Former off-limit military training areas have been converted into well-used public parks. Ingolstadt is where William IV, Duke of Bavaria, wrote and signed the Bavarian Reinheitsgebot in 1516. In 1748, Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Order of Illuminati, was born in Ingolstadt. Adolf Scherzer composed the Bayerischen Lehrmarsch. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was set at the Ingolstadter Alte Anatomie, now a museum for medical history. The famous writer Marie-Louise Fleischer wrote Pionier in Ingolstadt in 1928. In 1945, the car manufacturer Auto Union first arrived in the city. The company's original factories in Chemnitz and Zwickau were shattered during the war, and were seized by the Russians as reparations. Auto Union executives initially started a spare parts operation in Ingolstadt in the immediate post-war period, with a view to relocating the entire company to the region. With the help of Marshall Plan aid, Auto Union was formally refounded in Ingolstadt in 1949, ultimately evolving into the modern-era Audi company, after it was taken over by Volkswagen in 1964. Today, Audi is the region's largest employer and now dominates the economy of the city. Cityscape, main sites. As one of 5 ducal residences of medieval Bavaria, besides Landshut, Munich, Straubing and Burghausen, the city of Ingolstadt features many Gothic buildings, such as the Herzogskaserne and the New Castle, which was built from 1418 onwards. The largest church is the Gothic Hall, Church of Our Lady, which was begun in 1425. Also the churches of St. Maurice and of the Nardental and Franciscans monasteries date from the Gothic era. The Kloster is one of the remaining gates of the Old City Wall. The Gothic Old City Hall was constructed in the 14th century, and later altered several times. The Baroque era is represented by the old Anatomy building of the University and the Church Street, Maria de Victoria, which was built by the ASAM brothers. The Church of the Augustinians of Johann Michael Fischer was completely destroyed in World War II. Many buildings of the neoclassical fortification of Leo von Klenz have been preserved, such as the Reduit Tilly and the Towers Bohr and Triver, as well as being the home of the headquarters of the car manufacturer Audi. The town is also home to Audi's Museum Mobile, which is open to the public and presents historic exhibits and offers guided tours. Parks and natural areas. Ingolstadt is a green city with numerous parks, green spaces and forests. The most prominent of these is the Glacis, formerly an open space in front of the city walls, now surrounding the historic city center. It functions as a green belt and a buffer area between traffic residential areas and schools. It is possible to traverse it using spacious paths for pedestrians and cyclists with a good view of the site of the former fortifications, including a well-preserved section of the ditch. The biggest park in the city, the Klenz Park, which contained the former Ingolstadt State Fortress, and was the site of the Landesgartenschau in 1992, is also a part of the Glacis. The biggest forest in Ingolstadt is the Auwald. It is found on both the northern and southern banks of the Danube, and is one of the biggest well-preserved river forests in Germany, extending mainly from Neuburg to Ingolstadt with extensions to the city centre. The forest serves as a natural reserve, with parts containing unique vegetation or acting as a wildlife reserve. Schools. Ingolstadt School of Management. Ingolstadt is home of one of Germany's foremost business schools, the Ingolstadt School of Management. It is the Department of Business Administration and Economics of the Catholic University of Eichstätt at Ingolstadt. In national rankings, the business school regularly scores among the top 10, which is due to its high academic quality and excellent student-professor ratio. The faculty maintains a large network of partner universities for international educational exchange. The Ingolstadt School of Management offers bachelor's and master's degrees in business administration. Among the academic programs offered are also an executive MBA and doctoral degrees. Ingolstadt School of Management, Catholic University of Eichstätt at Ingolstadt. University of Applied Sciences. The University of Applied Sciences Ingolstadt is a new university for technology, computer sciences and business administration. With around 2,500 students, the university is the biggest institution of learning in Ingolstadt. Several scholarship programs supported by companies such as Siemens and Teamake provide gifted students with financial assistance during their studies. These students deepen the practical experience by working at these organizations. The University of Applied Sciences Ingolstadt offers several undergraduate and graduate programs. Every program is listed under the top 25 in Germany. University of Applied Sciences Ingolstadt. Sports. The sports life of the city is based on the 83 registered sports clubs. The biggest sports club is the MTV 1881 Ingolstadt, with over 3,000 registered members in 16 branches. In total, the sports clubs in Ingolstadt have more than 41,000 members. Ingolstadt is especially known for ice hockey and association football. ERC Ingolstadt, founded in 1964, plays in the German Ice Hockey League since the 2002-03 season, with the exception of its season of debut in 2007-08. The club has reached the national playoffs every year as of 2014, and has reached the semi-finals 3 times. They won the German Ice Hockey League Championship in 2014. The football club FC Ingolstadt 04 came into existence in 2004 after the merger of the football branches of MTV Ingolstadt and ESV Ingolstadt. In the 2007-08 season, it was promoted from the third highest division at the time, Regionalliga Süd, to Bundesliga. In the 2008-09 season, it was relegated at the penultimate place but was promoted again in 2010-11 and remained in 2. Bundesliga till 2015. In 2015, Ingolstadt won the 2. Bundesliga and were promoted to the country's highest league, the Bundesliga. During the first season in the Bundesliga, Ingolstadt finished in 11th place. International relations. Several other cities are sister cities to Ingolstadt, organizations and clubs. MTV 1881 Ingolstadt, Ingolstadt's major sports club. FC Ingolstadt 04, football club in 1. Bundesliga. Grün-Weiß Ingolstadt, football club in Kreisklasse. Ingolstadt Schanze, baseball team in 2. Bundesliga. ERC Ingolstadt, ice hockey team in Dell. The Bavarian Illuminati.